Hey Tim, glad you can join me. Mhm.
No, this is a pleasure for me.
Hey, welcome, man. And like I know I explained to you about that situation with John Adams yesterday.
Hmm.
And first off, I want to make sure that I'm clear. This is not downplaying the organizations out here that's doing things. That's not what that was about. So I want to be more clear here. We need a strategic plan so that we can do more. See, a lot of us we get offended when we say different things and it's not congratulatory. You follow what I'm
Hmm.
saying?
Hmm.
You know how the flesh is.
Yeah,
The
got
flesh
got to
like to
be
be
congrat.
picked
Yeah,
up. Yeah.
tell me I did a great job.
Right, exactly. You gotta do that. You got and see that's a seed of pride.
Hmm.
You get what I'm saying? So I know I can do more. I know I'm guilty of a lot of things that I'm saying have occurred. So I'm not acting like I'm above that. And again, I would be wrong if I don't say the first person that called me this morning after seeing that video was Lonnie Sloan. I appreciate it. And then again, Tim, Councilman Tim Tatum, he then called me, and that's who was on the phone. He was roared up. He said, "Let's get it going." So I've had phone calls after phone calls of different people. So we have to come up with a strategic plan. Now, what got me was something that Lonnie said. Lonnie said we don't have foot soldiers. We got all these generals, and he's right. We got admirals, we got generals, we got captains, but we don't have nobody doing the leg work. And we need a strategic plan of how to be effective. And I think that we look at different organizations and we say, okay, but that's mine. No, if it's for the people, it's for the community. We need to do this. We need to strategically pull together a plan so that each organization that's out here that is a 501c3 that supports family, children, alcoholism, mental health. We need to identify them in the areas that they are, and let's put a map together so that we can collectively be able to say, okay, this organization can handle your situation. We're going to call them and connect you with them. And then we can also see where the gaps are. We need to identify different schools in those areas and let's adopt those schools. Okay. I'm tired of these big celebrations. And that's what I'm talking about,
Mhm.
where we see a lot of those. All we see is these big celebrations every year where they have their banquets and they have all of those things. But what I'm trying to say is then there's a minimum amount of dedication that's put into actually doing the things that their mission statement says they're supposed to do. There's a hierarchy mentality, a self of entitlement, and all of that deals with the flesh. So, case in point, my name is always going to be assassinated because I speak my mind. I don't apologize for that. Okay. My Father, God, is the center of my life. Now, let me properly introduce this gentleman sitting next to me. Okay. Tell them who you are, Tim.
Tell them who I am. My name is
Yes.
Timothy White Sr. I'm a author, motivational speaker, writer. I've written a number of books.
Over 120. But
So
what they center around is what, though? What?
family, families, all about family, spirituality, and family.
Mm.
And one of the things that you just mentioned a moment ago, I look at that. As long as we don't politicize our children,
Come on.
we're going to do okay. But when we start to politicize and we're dragging them into, okay, how do we get money for this, to do this?
Exactly.
Now, do you have a passion? If we have people who have a passion for children, there's a power that goes with that. And if we have that passion and power, that gives us purpose. And with that purpose, we develop that. So we're looking for, as you mentioned, foot soldiers. Uh, Foot soldiers are great because they're the grunt workers.
Exactly.
And we need people going to be grunt workers willing to get down and dirty, not to politicize it. Again, I say that because I see too much of that politicization
That's
of
what you
children.
see.
You see always about, okay, how much, if we do this, we can get money for this.
Exactly.
Do this, we
They're
get money
bringing
for
in, they
that.
bringing in all of these different stars. They're putting
Exactly.
money in that. I see that. I see that so constantly. You can use that money to create programs. You can use that money to go and grab 2 to 3 kids, take them out and have a conversation with them. Where you're putting that money is not effective. The only thing that is glorifying is you and your organization.
Exactly.
That's what I'm saying. And you're not going to like that. You're not going to like that, but it's a fact. We
But
got kids
but
that are dying. We got kids that are suffering. And I know there's a lot of organizations out here.
Mhm.
I've met you. You've contacted me. I know. And let me tell you something. One of the things is this. Tim, you're writing a book now. And what is that book
It's
called?
called Coping with Parenting.
Okay, tell me briefly what that centers around.
It centers around us as adults not doing what we're supposed to be doing for our children. It's called Coping with Parenting, dealing with the elephant in the room. All of us are familiar with the elephant in the room
What is the
syndrome.
elephant in the
The
room?
elephant in the room means we see some problems, we see some issues, but we tend to try to look through it, look over it, looking around it, but we don't want to deal with it. And those of us who choose to deal with it, we deal with it in such a way as we become enablers and rather than disablers. So we see the problem, but we don't make any solutions for those
Isn't that
problems.
called sacrificing?
Is well, you know what? I don't even want to call it sacrificing when you do the right thing. See, when people feel like you're forced to do it, then you say that I sacrifice to do that. So
So
when I love somebody, it's
come
not a
on.
sacrifice.
When you truly love somebody,
It's not a sacrifice.
it's not a sacrifice. It's something that you can't help but do.
You
You
have
don't put
to.
a label on it.
Exactly. You say you woke up with that burning inside.
I couldn't help it.
That's the way we're supposed to be doing this. If you don't have a burning inside to see that, you're not looking for it. And I'm going to use a Jesus term here. He said, you don't go out there looking to get all the fish.
Ha!
You throw your hook in to get what?
One fish.
You get that one fish. You're busy saying, I'm trying to get 100 or 1,000. Get that one. If
Get
you
the one, and you'll make a difference.
One,
That's a
that
difference.
one that we can enable and show them that the power that they have inside of them, they will go out and get the 1,000 that we couldn't get. So when we're saying that, you know what, man, I can't reach them. The reason you can't reach them is because you're trying to reach with the wrong thing.
Or you're too busy focused on things that don't matter.
Well, that's you reaching for the wrong
right,
thing.
exactly. You're dressing up.
Yep.
You're looking the part, but you ain't
not-
got no tools that you're using.
Exactly.
And so that's what I'm talking about. And so I'm not calling out anybody. I'm calling out everybody.
No, let's be honest, man. I'm gonna say it like my mother used to say it. Throw a brick in the crowd. The only one gonna scream is the one to get hit.
Come on,
So
I like that.
If you get hit and it hurts you, what we're saying, that means you need to get on fire, change some things. You got hit because you need to know that you're not doing what's right.
216-317-0080. That's my telephone number. If you truly want to make a difference, and I'm gonna go to each organization. I'm not here to criticize you. I'm here to support you. I'm here to say this: where can I fit in? Where do you need me? Do you need to use my platform to help your platform? What I am doing, I'm calling this to arms. Now, Lonnie Sloan, again, I got to give him credit because he was the first one to call me. And he said, Larry, we got all these generals, but we don't have no foot soldiers. Again, we are going to call this the gatekeepers movement. And this is not to get recognition. I don't care if this goes wherever it goes. I just want it to be effective. Listen, look at your news.
Mm-hmm.
Look at your schools.
Was it 2 weeks ago that 6-year-old boy shot
pulled
a teacher?
Pulled a gun on the teacher.
9mm and shot a teacher,
Come
6
on.
years of age. Now he's one.
He's
one
one.
of millions
Yes.
that are out there that need help. They need guidance. They need discipline. But you know, one of the things that we don't do, and this is what I said even with my grandkids, we're guilty of not listening.
All the time.
Our children are talking, and we'll say they'll get over it. Don't worry about it. It's fine. No, listen to them.
Well,
we miss that.
I'm going to tell you something else that bothers me. We have crossed this generation out.
Yep.
I hear it, and I was guilty of even saying that because I've heard it so much. They said, no, this generation is gone. What if Christ had crossed us out?
Mm-hmm.
Look, this is not to anger. This is not to be competitive. This is to say, listen, we have a problem, and it's going to take all of us to solve this problem. I need your help. Where are my gatekeepers? This is a gatekeeper. This is a gatekeeper. We need gatekeepers. Where are my gatekeepers?
Yeah, absolutely. And not being afraid.
Tim.
No, thank you.
Okay. Listen, Tim, I know you've been on this for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
Me and you, we talked about different things. I want to say something. I'm just going to throw this in. I remember my grandmother very well. She died in 1961. And this just came to heart and to mind. My grandmother, she died, I think she was somewhere around maybe close to 70. That was our big mamas. I remember her laying on the altar. I remember her making sure that we went to church. I'm sorry. No, I'm not sorry. Nothing operates without love.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing. That's what my Lord and Savior represents to me. So if you want to know what my agenda is to create love in our community, and love, it will make you want to serve.
Absolutely.
So I want to say this to our kids. Sometimes you'll have children, and that children, you act as though it's a possession.
Mm-hmm.
Our role as a grandparent is to nurture, to give them that experience that you yourself may not even have.
Absolutely.
Our role is to see things that you may overlook. Don't make the mistake of allowing your kid to become a possession, because he'll be a possession to you today and a possession of an enemy tomorrow. You are the first gatekeepers.
Stop making your children property.
There you go.
And that's
And
what we do. We make our children
hallelujah.
property. It's like, okay, you do what I say do.
And
They're
parents do that
all the time.
all the time. Let us help. Thank you. We're my gatekeepers.